Welcome to episode 1.19. Section 4. Hazardous Waste Management. Chapter 1. General Provisions. This episode I will read from Article 238 to Article 254. Article 238. Purpose. This section aims to promote hazardous waste management by implementing measures to eliminate hazardous disposal, from generation to final handling, to ensure environmental protection, biodiversity conservation, and public health protection. Article 239. This section applies to the importation, exportation, transportation, collection, storage, processing, exploitation, treatment, and final handling of hazardous waste safely in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Chapter 2. Responsible Institutions. Article 240. Responsible Institutions. In collaboration with competent ministries or institutions and subnational administration, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall take the lead in managing and controlling hazardous waste. Article 241. Roles and duties of the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall have the following roles and duties. 8. Develop draft policies, strategic plans, legal instruments, action plans, and technical guidelines for hazardous waste management. B. Develop a list of hazardous waste types by complying with international legal tools to which Cambodia is a state party. C. Manage data and information on generating sources of hazardous waste and sites of collection, transportation, processing, treatment, and landfill for final handling of hazardous waste. D. Control, monitor, and evaluate hazardous waste management at production, commercial activities, or service sites, including importation, exportation, and transboundary transportation of hazardous waste. E. Research and disseminate the types and levels of dangers or impacts of hazardous waste. Release into the environment. F. Coordinate with competent ministries or institutions to develop action plans and prepare equipment, means, and resources for emergency response in case of incidents of inflammation, explosion, spills, or leaks of hazardous waste. G. Act as a national focal institution for international legal instruments concerning hazardous waste management, to which the Kingdom of Cambodia is a state party. Chapter 3. Measures for lead-acid and household battery waste management. Article 242. Obligations to handle battery waste. Houses, markets, supermarkets, entertainment facilities, public buildings, education institutions, commercial activities, services, and handcrafts shall be obliged to handle and sort the battery waste from other waste in accordance with guidelines of the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. Article 243. Collection, storage, transportation, disassembly, and treatment of battery. The collection, storage, transportation, disassembly, treatment, and disposal of battery waste shall receive a permit from the ministry responsible for environmental and natural resources, and shall implement environmental safety rules. Article 244. Application for permit. 1. All family-based commercial activities involving lead-acid batteries shall apply for a permit from the capital or provincial institution responsible for the environment and natural resources. 2. All small, medium, or large-scale commercial activities involving lead-acid batteries shall apply for a permit from the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. Article 245. Exportation of battery waste. All exportation of battery waste from the Kingdom of Cambodia to a foreign country may be done only with the approval from the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources and a prior importation permit from that foreign country. Article 246. Prohibition against burning or disassembly of battery waste. The burning or disassembly of battery waste that causes impacts or dangers to public health and the environment is strictly prohibited. Article 247. Payment for permit application. Payment for permit application for collection, storage, transportation, disassembly of Battery waste to extract the lead or other components, treatment, disposal, and establishment of. Safe landfill shall comply with interministerial procas responsible for environment and natural resources and ministry or institution responsible for economy and finance. Article 248. Reporting obligation. Business owners shall be obliged to report to the capital or provincial institution responsible for environment and natural resources or to the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources every 6 months about the progress of all collection, storage, handling, transportation, disassembly, treatment, and disposal of battery waste on their sites to ensure environmental and public health safety. Article 249. Monitoring and reporting obligation. Capital or provincial institution responsible for environment and natural resources shall help the applications to monitor and properly report to the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources every 6 months about the progress of all collection, storage, handling, transportation, disassembly, treatment, and disposal of battery waste in their jurisdiction to ensure environmental and public health safety. Article 250. Control, monitoring, and instruction. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall have the duties to control and monitor the pollution by commercial battery activities and instruct business owners about proper management rules. Chapter 4. Hazardous waste management measures. Part 1. Hazardous waste generation. Article 251. Notification about hazardous waste generation. Persons generating hazardous waste in their production, commercial activities, or services shall, in writing, notify the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources about the types, sources, and quantity of the generated hazardous waste and implement management measures. Article 252. Obligation of hazardous waste owner. 1. Persons generating hazardous waste shall be responsible for packaging, labeling warnings, storing, treating, and discharging hazardous waste in accordance with environmental safety rules. 2. Environmental safety rules shall be determined by a subdecree. Article 253. Permit to discharge hazardous waste. 1. Persons generating hazardous waste in their production, commercial activities, or services intending to discharge hazardous waste from their sites shall receive prior permission from the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. 2. Persons generating hazardous waste in their production, commercial activities, or services intending to treat, dispose, or take the final handling of the hazardous waste on their site shall receive prior permission from the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. Part 2. Liability of exclusive producers, importers, or suppliers of hazardous waste-producing equipment and materials. Article 254. Obligation to collect hazardous waste. 1. Legal entities exclusively supplying electrical and electronic tools or appliances shall be responsible for preparing and implementing a collection system of electrical and electronic devices or appliances to return them to the country of origin or to dispose of them domestically without causing harm to the environment or public health. Thank you for listening. See you soon in episode 1.20. Have a beautiful day. Cheers.